everyone, I'm Olivia and welcome back to another video. This video is just going to be a quick tutorial on how to make wavy hair textures that you can submit to Royale High. This tutorial is loosely based on Visalex's tutorial on straight hair, but I've tweaked it a little bit and it's different, and I hope that you guys enjoy it and are able to follow along with me. So without further ado, let's get started. As always, our first step is to open up Ibis Paint and clicking on My Gallery. So once we're here, we're going to click on the plus on the bottom left and make sure that our canvas is 256 by 256 because this is the requirement for submitting it to Royale High. So we're going to click on OK, and I like to zoom my canvas out a little bit. And our first step is to make sure that we have the right brush equipped. We're going to be using the soft felt tip pen in the basic section. Make your brush a little larger and then pick your color. I'm going to be going for kind of a light blue color, but as always you can select whatever color you want and have fun with it. So I'm just adjusting my color here, and now that I have it, we're going to click on our ruler and select a horizontal ruler. And our next step is to make the base of our first layer. We're just going to make a basic ombre here. So we're starting with our base color, and then we're getting a little bit of a lighter color and drawing lines above and below our first lines, and then select one more lighter shade and put that in the middle. Now we're going to filter, and under the blur section we're picking moving blur. Make sure your strength is at full and your direction is at 90 degrees, so straight up and down. And once we click on that, it's going to create a nice blend of our ombre colors. We're going to get rid of our ruler and we're going to make a new layer. So we're going to click on the one on the bottom right and click the plus sign. This is going to create a new layer for us, and we're going to change the normal setting to add. This is going to make anything we add on this layer brighter and lighter. So we're going to make our brush size super small. I definitely recommend 0.5 or lower for this, just because the smaller your brush size is for this, the more realistic it's going to look. So now we're going to kind of experiment and figure out what kind of wave we want to do. If you want a loose wave like the one on the right, or a more curled wave on the left here. For the video, I'm going to be doing the one on the right, and as you can see, I'm just putting these waves all the way across the canvas, making sure that they're all relatively the same shape because we want them to look as clear and as clean as possible. So once you're done adding in all of your lines, you feel like it's filled in evenly and it looks nice, our next step is to add another layer. And this time our lines are going to be darker, so it contrasts with the light lines and it looks more realistic. So what we're going to do first is click on the 2 on the bottom right, and we're going to change the transparency of the layer we are on. Because we don't want the light to be too overpowering, you're going to drag the bar and just put it to wherever you think looks right. So we've added another layer, and we're going to change it from normal to multiply. And this is going to make everything that we put on this layer darker. So we're going to actually select a darker shade of whatever color we've picked, and we're pretty much going to do the same exact thing that we just did on the previous layer. We're going to put all of our lines, making sure they follow the rough shape that we have, and keep going until you think it looks filled out and even. So once we get to the point where we think it looks good, we're going to go ahead and add another layer, which is going to be where our roots are. But first we're going to do what we did last time and change the transparency of this layer. So we're going to click the 3 and drag the box to wherever we think it looks most natural. So we've adjusted our transparency to what we think looks the best, and we've added another layer, which we are going to change from normal to multiply again. And we're going to make our brush size a little bigger for this, and if you've watched my straight hair tutorial, you know that we go straight up and down with the roots. However, since these are wavy textures, we want to make sure that we're kind of putting our lines at an arch, so that way when we do our moving blur filter, it doesn't make everything look out of whack and it flows correctly. We're going to do the same thing at the bottom, flowing in whatever direction. that the waves are going and making sure to lower our transparency. So now we're going to go back to our moving blur filter, and as you can see, it looks nice and natural. So now we're going to add our last layer, which we're going to set to the setting add and put the transparency at somewhere near 30%. And just like with the roots, we want our highlights to be a little bit wavy so the moving blur filter doesn't get out of whack when we put it on. So I'm putting little S shapes just across where the curve happens in my wavy texture. Everyone's will look different depending on how many curves are in your wave, but this is just how mine is. And when I put the moving blur on, you can see that it doesn't get out of whack, it looks nice and natural. And you can adjust the transparency of this layer however you like to. If I turn it down, it's a little more subtle here, but if I turn it all the way up, it's very overwhelming. So that's just something you want to toggle with and figure out whatever looks good to you. So this is pretty much the end of the tutorial. I hope everyone was able to follow along with me and that you guys found this helpful. I would love to see if anyone followed along with this and made their own. Feel free to DM me on Twitter. My Twitter will appear in the outro. And as always, if there's any kind of tutorial you'd like to see, please let me know. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye!